Good morning, here we are again, Workout Welfare, about to run through a warm down and a little stretch so we can push all the lactic acid out of our muscles, make sure that we recover well, and that's a huge part of making sure that you get rid of all those DOMs. So my theory is if you do a really good warm down, a good stretch session and some active recovery, really shouldn't have too much of an effect in regards to DOMs. Unless you've gone and done something absolutely out of this world, your body will adapt quite quickly and does recover quite quickly if you look after it. So the same as our warm-up, we want to think about hitting every muscle group. So with our warm-up, we targeted joints. Obviously this is our warm down and our stretch session, so we want to target muscles. So we'll start at the bottom again, easiest way just to make sure we don't miss anything. So first up, we're going to get into our calves. Can be quite tricky, also needs to get a good pull and a good feel on the Achilles. So can use a wall. I find sometimes that this one is good enough. With a bent knee, I find that gets really targeted quite well into the lower area of my calf and my Achilles. We want to hold these for between 20 and 30 seconds each time, and then when I straighten that knee right out, it moves from down this lower section up to both the lateral and the medial head of my gastrocnemius, which is your calf. So again, holding that, pushing nice and hard, and then of course, like everything, we want to swap legs, do the other side. With your calf, sometimes for a lot of people, it can be quite tricky to get in and get it stretched. So you can do this one up against a wall or a tree. Again, you want the wall here and you'll be pushing down. Some people can actually hold like this and have that calf activated. Get a good stretch out of there. And see, I'm pushing pretty hard. For me, that really doesn't give me a great deal. I'm shaking through the arm because I'm struggling to hang on to it, but it's not really giving me much here. Okay, the next ones up are the big boys. We want to get into these. These are a real big concentration when you're exercising. Because they're the largest muscle groups in your body, most exercise regimes will give a big focus on them because it gives you biggest bang for your buck. So we need to really ensure that we get into them and stretch them out right. So we do a little section around this hip flexors and your quads and your hamstrings. So with this one, try and keep your knee together-ish, in line. Really pull up on your hand, and you should feel that all the way down there. Again, try not to use something to balance with, because again, we're getting more activation through our stabilizers. It's all part of the fun. 20 seconds again. Same on the other side. With this one, for those of you who have issues with trying to grab your foot, you might have mobility problems. You might be like me, you might be a little bit overweight and it makes it very difficult. You've got too much body mass. Is you grab a towel, loop the towel around your foot and grab the towel in two parts. That will allow you to really get this same stretch happening. All right, that's our fronts. Now we've got our backs. A couple of different ways. I enjoy this one, leg across the other one. Keep this knee nice and straight, and over we go. And you should be feeling that right from the back of your knee all the way up into the back of your hips. So again, to get the other one, we swap the legs over, and then that will just move everything across and target the other hamstring. Another one for that one, some people find it a little bit easier, is just the usual reach out, grab the toe, try and keep your leg down nice and flat, If your knee's coming up, you're better off just to do that. Just reach as far as you can. If you can't grab your toe, don't worry. It's not a huge issue. Important thing is that you're getting that stretch through your hamstring. Again, 20-second hold, change legs, same thing. You don't need to be doing this. If you can't get there, don't worry, just reach as far as you can. It's important that you don't try and compete with other people. You need to improve yourself. It's got nothing to do with where other people are at. You're at your own place. So now we're going to focus on our groin. So bring our feet up, nice and tight. Grab your ankles and use your elbows here. Push your knees down. Try and push your knees down. You should be feeling that on the inside of your thighs, right deep into your groin. So there's a few extras we're going to do now. Some of you may have seen them before. A lot of people are a little bit shocked by some of them. It looks like only a contortionist could do them. The first one's a hip flexor, and it's really good to free up all through the different areas of your hips. So we want to make sure that we don't have, our knee is not actually over our ankle. If our knee is close to being over our ankle like this, then our foot is not far enough forward. We need to put our foot a bit further forward. We want to try and keep our feet in line with our shoulders. So try and keep our feet always right angles to our shoulders, not like this, not like this. And we don't want it out here or across there. We want them nice and in line. We want to train the body so it should be doing what it's supposed to be doing. And with this one, try and stay upright if we can. It's pretty difficult. And we want to push this knee over that toe. And you should be feeling that through and around different areas of your hips. We usually depend upon where you're tight as to what zones you're going to feel it in. Usually through this front leg, sorry, through the back leg, but the front of the back leg, around in the back part of your hip. Some people will feel it deep in their hips because it's actually getting right in deep there as well. So as usual, 20-second hold, change legs. Try and line your legs up, keep them nice and straight. Push this knee out here. Now when I've changed legs, the feeling from where it was in here on the other leg, on this leg it's more actually through this zone. So it just goes to show where my tightness lies, and now I have a better understanding of what I should be able to get onto the femoral with and do some myofascial release. Okay, that's our hip flexors. We're going to get into a really good one now, which is difficult for a lot of people. It's stretching really deep within that groin area and gets right into your psoas. So we're bringing this leg up and then we're coming down and sliding. I find it easier to slide backwards away from that leg. And it becomes very, very, very tight. And you'll really feel where the tightness is around your hip region. For me, this is getting right into my groin. So I can feel this right in through there. It's quite an unusual sensation. I enjoy it, but it's not always comfortable. And then the same on the other leg as always. Switch over, put that one on the ground, and as you can see, I'm just sliding back. And up we come. Okay, so we've hit this zone, hit this region. Next one we want to get up to is around our core, which is quite tricky to do stretches. What I find, what I enjoy and really targets it, is just doing a little Superman, and it just stretches that front region out. So we're just making a little U shape with our body by lifting our legs and our feet off the ground. We only want to do a few of those. They're very, very targeted. Very, very intense exercise. It's a great exercise to add to your regime if you want to hit your abs. but it can be extremely fatiguing. So while we're down here, we're now just going to get into a couple of small little yoga poses that really target some good areas like your lower back. So sit back on your feet, and we want to stretch our hands, try and walk our fingers as far forward as we can. Just breathe big, have a bit of a time out, stay there for 20 seconds, just really enjoy turning off for a few minutes. We can come up then into a cat pose. Arch your back, stretch the back out. Do some other back ones in a minute when we get up onto a wall and a tree. Makes it much easier to get in and give you a really good stretch. So we've done a bit through the back. We want to hit these big pecs.